All right, so there's one person in here, so tell me who you are. That way I can say hello. I actually can see comments from my laptop, so I feel like that's gonna be easier way for me. That's why I keep looking over here. So, if you're on my live, say hello. Don't be shy. I'm gonna get started in like just a minute. And if you're watching this and just skip through this till you see my mouth moving consistently, because you guys know I talk a lot. That way you know to skip this whole part, the awkward silence part of the beginning of a live. The only reason I decided to go live is because I wanted to put up a video right now, but I didn't want to have to go through editing. So I didn't want to go through the process. Editing takes a while sometimes. I really wanted to get this video out now. So that was the reason why I decided to go live. But you know what? I'm just going to start now. So this is going to be a video about my thoughts on the 3 S's: sin, sexuality, and spirituality. So the reason why I decided to go on with this topic is because I've been having like people DMing me, asking me questions. People ask me questions about, and I'm not saying this to sound cocky, like I'm so important. Ooh, everybody gotta hear my thoughts. Like it's not like that. I just I just want to make a video because people have been asking me a lot of questions. So to be honest, I think because I'm such an opinionated person, like I'm always putting out my opinions and my thoughts on things, but I'm not like the type of person to say, oh, everything I say is facts, or I have to go find the facts and the data and the statistics in order for me to prove anything. I am all about experience. I like to go off of my own experience, and I go off of other people's experiences as well. So that is why all of my videos are based on opinion and my experience and my perspective. And I guess when people send me messages and they ask me questions, like, oh, can you make a video talking about this or talking about that? Sometimes people want me to just like tell them right then and there. And then I'm thinking like, you know what, this will make a good video topic. So that's why sometimes I just, I come on here and then I'm just like, let me just throw out my opinion. So with that being said, I'm gonna get straight into this video for anyone who's watching this on a replay, because obviously this live is gonna be up. If you are watching this on a replay, welcome to my channel. I'm Tina Marie J, and I want to get started talking about, let's see, what's the most interesting topic is sex, but I'm not gonna start on that. I want to actually start on sin. So actually earlier today, someone, I'm not sure if she'll watch this, she probably will, but someone earlier had asked me about, and if you are watching this now and it was you, then this is about you and your questions about like what I think about sin, like my perspective on sin. I've actually had a couple people ask me that. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of avoided talking about this for a little while, only because of the simple fact that for a while I wasn't really sure. I wasn't really sure what I thought. Like I wasn't really sure like how I feel about sin, how but I don't know. For me, it's a weird thing. It kind of feels like I know what I think, but at the same time, it still feels so taboo because sin is something I believed in my entire life. My entire life of growing up in Christianity with the Christian mindset, the Christian beliefs. Obviously, all that comes with sin. Pretty much, I think all religion believes in sin. So I never really actually stopped and thought about what I thought of sin after I left Christianity until people started asking me, like, well, what do you think about sin? So, okay, what I think about sin, and some people might not like it, but if you don't, then you might not want to watch, because I am going to be super honest as always. I don't necessarily believe in the concept of sin anymore. I don't. I do believe that we can do things that are wrong. I do believe that we could be morally wrong. But do I believe in the concept of actual sin? Like you go and you commit sin and now you're gonna go to hell. I don't believe in that anymore. So why don't I believe in sin anymore? I think it's stupid. Okay, don't take this offensively. Oh my God, everybody's gonna be like, how dare she say something like that about God and our beliefs. No, this isn't anything personal. I honestly, maybe I shouldn't say stupid. No, but that's how I feel. I do. I'm not gonna take it back. I do think the concept of it is stupid, only because of the fact that people, they fall into sin, right? And then when you're in Christianity, everything is majority of Christianity is about trying not to be sinful, right? Trying not to fall into sin, trying not to fall into temptation. And I feel like in Christianity, a lot of people get so wrapped up in trying not to do certain things that, in my opinion, I am not God, but like I said, these are all my opinions. In my opinion, there is no sin in certain areas of life. I feel like it's just called being a human, having human emotions, having human feelings. Now, there's so much I could say about sin, and I didn't write any notes, but I'm just gonna start with whatever comes off the top of my head. So this is one thing I have always, before I stopped believing, before I stopped being a Christian and became spiritual and just was like, before all of this life that I live now, I believed heavily in sin, because I mean, that was the only thing I was taught. But even though even though I believed so much in sin, I still also kind of had like my moments where I was just like, I don't know, something's not making a whole lot of sense. Like, if it is so sinful to do certain things, then why do we want to do it in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I used to always think when I was a Christian. Now, this is where sexuality comes in. Sex. I used to think when I was a Christian, okay, they say that sex before marriage is a sin. Well, then why do we have these urges if we're not supposed to act on it? And then I was always told, well, you have to save it for your husband, that one special man in your life, and blah blah blah. And so, I grew up hearing that, but I just couldn't understand it. I was like, okay, but if all these different things, like, let's say, like, whatever sin you could think of other than murder, because to me that's just an evil act. I'm not speaking about evil acts when I talk about sin. I'm talking about things like having sex if you're not married, or cursing is like supposed to be a sin, I guess, right? Like, things like this, I just couldn't understand it when I was in Christianity, but now I feel more kind of like I just don't agree with it, and I'm more open about it. I'm more vocal about it, just because of the fact that this is just how I feel. And if someone could believe in sin, I just as equally could not believe in sin. If someone could believe in the idea of heaven and hell and religion, I just as equally have a right to say, well, I don't believe in it. And so I feel like we need to be able to have a world where we can all disagree and say what the hell is on our mind without everyone getting so ass hurt over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like so many people get so offended, but you say a lot of things as well about other religions and other belief systems, and what other people do, so it just doesn't make sense. So that's why I feel like to me, it's easier for me to be able to be transparent when I say I do think that the concept of sin is stupid. Now, I feel like when it comes to sin, there are things that I do now that I didn't do before in Christianity, because I was afraid. I was afraid of, something's gonna happen. I'm gonna anger God, or I'm gonna go to hell. Certain things like that. So I was always kind of afraid to do certain things. I don't know what I was afraid was gonna happen. I always thought about going to hell. Like, I always thought, well, when I die, I don't want to go to hell. When I die, I want to go to heaven. That was how I always felt. So now that I don't have that mindset anymore, when you get out of that religious mindset, when you get away from those views, not get away as in like I intentionally decided I'm not going to believe in these things, it's just over time I stopped believing in these things. When you get to that point, it's easier for you to be able to be honest and be like, all right, I don't believe in this, and if certain people don't like it, then that's fine. That's cool, because you don't have to like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that certain people do that I don't like, but I don't have to. But that doesn't mean they need to stop doing it. So when it comes to sin, I just feel like the reason I really, really feel it doesn't make any sense is because of the fact that, like I said, if if we can't do certain things, why is it here? You know, like, okay, let's not talk about sex being a sin. Let's talk about something else being a sin. Cursing. Okay, so a lot of Christians believe cursing is a sin. And yes, Glory Days, I appreciate you a lot, and I definitely agree. A lot of people believe that cursing is a sin, right? In my mind, the way I see it is it's a word that someone invented that describes something or an attitude, or it describes someone, or it could just be a mood, and you just curse. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when you're upset, it might feel good, you know, because you just gotta get it out. I think it's because sometimes the things that we're not supposed to do can sometimes feel good. I don't know if it's maybe at times because of the fact that we know we're not supposed to do it. But in my case, I'm not a Christian anymore, so I don't know I'm not supposed to curse. I feel like I have a right. If I want to curse, I will. You know, that's just how I feel. So I go off of my feelings. A lot of people do have complaints about that, like mostly Christians who come on here. They have complaints about, oh, you talk about your feelings and blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's exactly what I do. I talk about my feelings. This is not statistics class. I'm not going to sit here and give you guys a bunch of facts and statistics. If that's what you want, you can go to another channel. I am not about that. I am all about speaking my thoughts, speaking my opinions, because other people may be able to relate. And even though some people may feel like, oh, well, who cares about how you think? Someone actually recently told me I should shut down my channel. I should stop talking about how I feel, stop talking about what I think. And I'm like, well, maybe you should just not watch, because that's pretty simple, right? There's always going to be people that are going to relate. So when it comes to cursing, for instance, a lot of people can understand that it's just words coming out of your mouth. Not gonna lie, I don't like to curse on my channel, but I have a dirty mouth. I used to have a very dirty mouth back then, before I started getting really deep into Christianity. Because even though I was raised in it, it wasn't something I took on, like, oh, I want to do this, I want to believe in this. It was more just, okay, Tina, you were born, we're passing on to you. That was just how it was. But I always kind of grew up with my own thinking. I've always been kind of like, I don't know if I could say I was like the black sheep, but I always have my own thoughts, you know, the rebellious. Yes, I believe that it's all in the word, the way it's said. Yeah, I agree with you. So, like, when it comes to cursing, I feel like when I do things, to me, it's more about the intention behind it. You know what I'm saying? When I'm frustrated, I may say certain words that certain people may not like, but I'm not gonna go out there and curse people out left and right. So I don't look at it as sin. I look at it more as, if I'm doing this or using these words to hurt someone, I need to apologize because I was wrong. That's a wrong thing to do, in comparison to saying that is a sinful thing to do. Because now it's just more like, oh, that's sinful. You shouldn't do this act, or you shouldn't say these things, or you shouldn't think this way because you're not supposed to. That is one thing. But then there is another thing. There's also, well, I'm not going to do these things. I'm not going to say these things because I don't feel right about it. That's different. So for me, whatever I do, other people may consider it a sin, but I always think about my motive behind it, my intention behind it. Am I trying to hurt? Am I trying to take from someone? Am I trying to bring someone down? Or am I trying to help them? Am I trying to build up? You know what I'm saying? That's how I always think about it like that. So that's when it comes to cursing. I'm trying to think of other sins. Back to the sex thing, because this is also about sexuality. All right, so in Christianity, you're not supposed to do a lot of things that have to do with sex, unless it has to do with your, not even your significant other. It has to be like your husband, your spouse, your husband or your wife, right? But if you're not married and you're having sex, then it is considered a sin. Now, I can understand the whole point of trying to, you know, keep things at a level where it's like, you have to be careful because there's STDs out there, there's a lot of craziness, and you do exchange a lot of energy. I personally believe that through sex, we exchange a lot of energy. So we do have to be careful and protect ourselves with that. If I choose not to sleep with someone, if I am single, it is not going to be because to me it's a sin. It's gonna be because I just simply don't want to. So this is just like how my thinking has really switched from I can't do these things because it's a sin, and I'm not going to do it because I just don't want to, or because that doesn't feel right for me, or that's not who I am. That's really how most people who are spiritual think. And I know this sounds very basic, but you'd be surprised how many people have these questions about sin. I probably was asked about sin for about the past year now, and I just never wanted to really talk about it because, like I said, it's something that like a lot of people will consider a taboo topic. People who like to come to my channel who are Christian, you know, because I do have a lot of Christian subscribers, so I try to be respectful for everybody, but I am getting some new viewers who are getting more into spirituality. So I also have to make videos catered to you guys who don't think like a Christian. And that's the whole point of this video right here. So when it comes to sex also, right? You want to protect yourself. You want to always stay protected. But I agree, it is a double standard. But at the same time, when you're married, I know that you may feel and think and assume I can have sex with my husband and my wife, like I'm protected. You don't know, they could be doing something too, you know? And I know we don't want to think that, but how many people have, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's no matter what, you have to stay safe. You have to be careful what you're doing, and you have to be careful with who you're doing it with. Now, people who do all these so-called sins that get judged, the way I feel about it is it's not my business what you're doing. So you could be doing something and that has nothing to do with me. So why am I gonna entertain, or why am I gonna bother you about it? You know, that's how I really feel about that. I know I'm all over the place. I didn't take any notes. I just like was talking to somebody and I was like, you know, let me make a video and talk about this. Okay, the other thing, spirituality. So spirituality and sin. Okay, so spirituality, this is a big one. So right now we have this trends, right? We can all acknowledge we have a trend going on right now where a lot of people want to be spiritual. A lot of people got crystals, they got their sage, they have their tarot cards. I'm not gonna lie to you, I got the same stuff. I got all that right here. I got the same stuff, but I got it because I actually like this stuff. It's a trend. If you're someone who is entering spirituality, but you're starting to feel afraid because you think it's a sin to be spiritual, that means that you just still have the same mindset that you had before when you was in religion. You have to understand that it takes a while to get away from that. It takes a while to come away from that. Someone in my Facebook group, which if you guys have not joined, I do have a Facebook group called Beautiful Souls for anybody who has been a part of a cult or who has been in religion and needs to heal, and you know, if you're just really going through it, that group is good because there's other people in that group that will relate with you. So check that out. It's on Facebook. Actually, I'm gonna put the link below in this video, but the link is in all my other videos. But anyway, I don't even remember what the hell I was saying. I'm sorry. I do this a lot. This is why I like to edit. But spirituality. So spirituality being a sin, someone recently in my Facebook group said that they are feeling themselves, I guess, becoming more attracted to spirituality, but they're fearing it because of what they were taught in religion. And they're feeling like they need to stay away from spirituality, but same time, spirituality is something that they really do enjoy and they connect with. So my answer to that, what I have to say about that is I felt the same way. When I started to feel myself becoming more interested in spirituality or things that have to do with spirituality, anything that had nothing to do with Jesus Christ or the Bible, all of that really did start to scare me because it was new, you know? So you have to understand that if you're new to spirituality and you've come out of religion, that's totally different than somebody who was never in religion and is just new to spirituality, you know? And because now you're entering a whole nother realm. Like now you're entering, you guys don't understand. Like there's like a crap load of stuff I could tell you about my experiences, which one day I will make videos on different things speaking on it, my different spiritual experiences that I have had. But when you have these spiritual experiences, that's when everything clicks and you're like, oh snap, everything's making sense. Like how is it that all these things never made sense before, it makes sense now? That's the difference between spirituality and religion. In religion, the only thing that makes sense to you is what they tell you and what the Bible says. Which in reality, to majority of us, logically, a lot of things in religion does not make any sense. A lot of it is very and if you guys are talking, I'm just trying to stay on track, but I will talk to you guys afterwards. But the reality of it is that a lot of people don't feel like religion makes any logical sense, which is why we have a lot of atheists, or we have a lot of people who are like me. Like, I believe in some sort of like a creator, but to follow a book and all of that, and to go to church every Sunday, to me, I don't feel like I need to do that. Like, I just, that's just not what I do. You know what I'm saying? Hello, anyone who joins, everybody who joined. Hello, hello. So, when it comes to spirituality, it's a whole different ball game. It's totally different. It's a whole new view. Trust me, because you start to see things so different, and you're like, wow. I might have had some sort of peace when I was in religion, which I personally do believe that religion does bring peace. I do. But spirituality brings a whole different type of peace. Okay, so religion, your peace stays in a section. And if you are a Christian or any kind of religion, please, please, please do not take it personal. I apologize if I'm being, if I sound too, okay, I don't want to offend anyone and say like, oh, you're religious, you live in a box. It's not what I mean. I don't mean it like that. But I am saying that religion does keep you molded. You have, like, you have to admit it. You just got to admit to yourself. If you are in religion, you do have limitations. You have certain things you can't do, because if you do them, are you still considered a Christian, or a real Christian, or a true Christian? To most Christians, no, you're not. If you do something and you read the Bible and it says not to do it, what are you going to be looked at as? You know, how are you considered? You have to really think about that. So with spirituality, there is no box, there is no frame, there is no, oh, you're doing this wrong way, you're not a real spiritual person. There's none of that. It's literally all about you and your journey. And when it comes to religion, from my experience, because everyone's experience is different, I understand that some people, or a lot of people, they're in religion and their experience is totally different. They like it, they love it. They're like, no, this is all I want. And that's fine. And that's how I feel about spirituality. So you have to understand that you may feel like that about Christianity, but that same passion you have for Christianity, other people have for spirituality. Other people have for being a Muslim, or being a Jew, or being Catholic. The same thing. But that's like besides the point. I just want to throw that in there. Spirituality is very different. Like I said, there is no box. But if you're fearing spirituality, then it is something that has to do with whatever belief system you came from, because that belief system is against spirituality. So when I was a part of Christianity, spirituality was a big no-no. Tarot cards? What? No, you can't. No. Sage? No. We're not saging. We're using olive oil, and we're making a cross. And my mom does that. She all the time. She does the cross and with the oil. And when I was little, I used to look at her and think like, what is that supposed to do? Why is just oil? Why is she doing that? But it's like a ritual, you know? And it's the same thing with spirituality. I saged right before I started this live. You sage and you put out your good intentions and you call it a day. You're not doing anything crazy. It's just that it's nothing scary. It's just that what you came from teaches you that this is scary. Oh no, you can't do that. Horrible things are gonna happen. Evil things are gonna happen. If you think like that, then maybe it will, because I personally do believe that we can manifest whatever we're thinking about, whether it's positive or negative, if you obsess over it enough, and if you focus on it. Because I did that in the beginning of my journey. When I first left the church and I found myself leaving religion and I started getting into spirituality, I had a really, really bad dream, which I made a video about a while, like a couple years ago probably. Yeah, probably like 2 years ago, I made a video about it. I had like this really horrible dream. It was a demonic dream. It was the scariest dream I've ever had in my life. I was so freaking scared. I I woke up and didn't want to go back to sleep. I was like, nah, the TV's on, the lights on. Nope. But I think that that was because of I was afraid at the time, because I still had that thinking of, you left the church or you left Christianity. So now you are gonna go through this, and you are gonna, all these horrible things gonna happen. You're gonna invite evil. All of that different type of stuff. But now that stuff I don't believe in. But religion does consider that to be, does consider spirituality to be sinful, which is what would be the cause of having some sort of a nightmare or something, according to someone who is in religion. Because at the time when I was in it, someone had told me that the reason I had this nightmare was because of the fact that I wasn't a part of the church anymore that I was in, and I wasn't a part of Christianity anymore. And so that was the reason I had the dream. If that's the case, I should be dreaming every freaking night, because I'm fine, like I'm good. I'm gonna read your comments, but I'm gonna look on my laptop to see it, because that way I don't gotta be scrolling. Oh, Alejandro, you're such a good supporter. You always come on. Every time I'm on live, I feel like and I barely come on live, but you always show up, and I appreciate you for that. So Alejandro, yeah, find it amazing how Christianity finds every sexual act a deadly sin. I agree. Sex is kind of double standard. Yes. ICOC obsessed with knowing how much does a man masturbate. Yes. You know what? They did. So a lot of Christians, that's another thing that's considered. Let's talk about that, right? So that's another thing that's considered like a horrible sin, is masturbation. I mean, I've never talked about sex on my channel before, but I don't have any problem speaking on it. And I feel like one thing that I've recently really started to embrace is my own sexuality, and I'm not gay. I mean sexuality, like in general, my own femininity. Not anything wrong being gay. I'm just saying that's what I'm referring to, but I'm embracing it. And some people do embrace it as if they are gay or bi or lesbian or trans. A lot of people leave religion and then they embrace these things, and then people are like, oh, you left Christianity and all of a sudden you're into this. It's not that they're into anything. It's just this is who they've always been, So I'm embracing who I've always been. And so I do feel like feeling confident sexually is something that's really important, especially when you leave religion, because I feel that religion really, really puts a huge damper on, and this is my opinion, like I said, this doesn't apply to everybody, but if it applies to you, it applies to you. If it doesn't, let it fly. But I do feel like religion can put a damper on sexuality in all different type of religions. If you notice, every religion, sexuality is very, very just like, you have to cover up. You got to wear something on your head. You got to cover your face, mostly for women especially. So when it comes to like pleasuring yourself, I don't think that's a sin. Honestly, not gonna lie to you, I never thought that was a sin. Even when I was in the ICOC and I got yelled at for saying I don't see anything wrong with it, because this is my thing. You can't do it with anyone, right? And you're just helping yourself out. How is that possibly wrong? That is safe. You are not messing with anyone. You're not risking anything. You're by yourself. I remember matter of fact, I'm not trying to talk about the ICOC, but when I was in the ICOC, I do remember, since Alejandro made that comment, this woman that I studied with, she told me that I couldn't, not to get personal, but she told me that I can't use anything in the bedroom with my own spouse, that it's only supposed to be me and him, because then they'll take the focus off of him. So I was like, all right, but some men enjoy that. So, and she was like, yeah, no, you shouldn't do that, because it's not very Christ-like and all this other crap. And I was just like, that sounds like a boring sex life, because if I'm be with this guy for the rest of my life, I want to have fun. And this is not fun. If I can't do whatever I want, if I have to be so like careful. So that's why I feel like religion does put a damper on sex for a lot of people, but not for everybody. I'm not saying for everybody, but yeah, I don't believe that that is a sin neither, Alejandro. I definitely don't. uh yes, and you also mentioned how women dress, that is considered sexual. Those are all definitely double standards. I was definitely told several times about how I dress, and I didn't dress crazy at all. I used to go to church. I used to wear Converse sneakers and a t-shirt and jeans. That was it. If I was to go to church this Sunday, guess what I'll be wearing? Some sweatpants, because honestly, I'm wearing sweatpants for months, and it's comfortable. Either sweatpants or leggings is what I would wear. But that's not, there's nothing sexual about it. But the church I was in, even though I was covered up, because of how I look, or because of what I was told my body, or because of you're pretty, so automatically men are gonna be attracted to you. I have been called out several times, usually by the same women, about how I look based on my profile pictures or something, even when I was super covered up. So I actually have this one picture, and I think, I'm not sure if I showed you guys before, but I have this one picture where I was wearing like a white t-shirt and these like green, I can't really explain the material, but it was like these green pants. It was like joggers, but it wasn't sweat material, you know. It was cute. I looked cute, and I was sitting, and the woman that did studies with me, she told me I needed to take that picture down because she said I looked too attractive. I thought that was stupid. I was like, what? How does that make any sense? Like, I can't change how I look. And I wasn't sitting sexually. I had the camera up. I was sitting like how I'm actually sitting now, with my legs up on the seat, because this is comfortable for me to sit like this, either this or Indian style. But she thought I looked too attractive. After I left ICOC, I later found out that this woman had insecurity issues with me because of the fact that her husband had an affair and he had an addiction to porn. So that started to make more sense, and that was like way after I left that I learned that. So that started to make sense to me. But it's not fair, because just because you're a woman and in religion, you're expected to look a certain way to a lot of people. Not every religion or every person in religion thinks this way, but a lot of people are going to look at you and they're going to think, well, you're supposed to look like a Christian woman. I was told so many times I should be going to church wearing a dress or heels or something, and I was just like, but I don't even like wearing those things on the regular, so why would I wear that to church? It didn't make any sense to me. But this is how a lot of people think. Is it a sin? No, obviously it's not a sin, but they can definitely make a lot of things. Oh, did my thing die? I think my laptop died. Hold on, guys, give me a second. Oh crap, I gotta charge it. They could definitely make a lot of things seem sinful when you're in religion. Now, do I believe masturbation is a sin? No, I don't. Hold on. Okay, I definitely do not. I don't believe masturbation is a sin. I'll tell you a list of things I don't believe is a sin anymore. Which I never believed in that. I thought that was always stupid. I don't believe that sex before marriage is a sin. I don't believe that cursing is a sin. Then there's a lot of things that could be a sin. Now, things that are wrong, like let's say stealing, lying to someone, religion calls it sinful. I don't use the term sin anymore when I'm speaking about things. I don't use that term anymore. I believe it's wrong. That's all I say. It's wrong. You shouldn't lie. You shouldn't cheat. You shouldn't steal. It's wrong. You should apologize if you do something, because we are going to do things that are wrong. Are we going to lie? Of course we're going to lie. You know, we're human. It could be a little white lie. It could be a horrible lie. At the end of the day, you got to learn from your lessons, and you got to apologize when you're wrong. But in Christianity, all sin is the same. You know, according to the Bible and according to Christianity, all sin is the same. So basically, someone who kills somebody, that sin is considered equally the same as someone who told a lie that wasn't even huge, a lie that didn't really hurt anyone. It's considered the same. someone who killed someone is considered the same type of sin as someone, or the same level of sin as somebody who cursed somebody out. It doesn't make any sense. That's the reason why I say in the beginning of this video that I personally, no offense, I think the whole concept of sin is stupid. I think it should just be, this is wrong and you shouldn't do it. And if you do it, then own up to it, take accountability, and apologize. That's freaking simple. You know, that's really freaking simple. That's just my opinion, but I do respect how other people feel. Sounds like a sexual trigger, but people can't read minds and can't help on what guys or girls turn on. Yeah, that is definitely a sexual trigger. I don't know. You know, there's like, I understand that some women could dress a little too sexual, and some men might be so attracted to it, or a woman could just dress a little sexual and then a man will be attracted to it. But how is that our fault that you want to act out? You know what I'm saying? Hey Chantal, how are you? How does that have anything to do with me? Because you want to act out, you know? So that's why I agree when the person, I think it was Alejandro, someone said that it is a double standard, because it is. Because you know what, a guy could walk outside shirtless, he's good, but us, no. Like, obviously we can't walk out shirtless. We wish we could in the summertime, but my point is that it's like people forget women have eyes. We can see. We are attracted. We just don't say anything. We're not as outspoken about it as men. We're very classy with it, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense. But when I was in the church I was in, there wasn't anyone that was attractive like that anyway. So even if I was single, I would still be single. I would not, they wouldn't be able to hook me up with nobody, because some of the people in the church that I was in, this is off topic, but they wasn't attractive at all. I used to look at the people and be like, yo, how do these people get set up together? Because they're not, she's attractive, but he's not. It was usually an attractive woman, and the guy was like, you know, I don't want to be mean. But anyway, Darth, I got told that I should stop my fandom over Star Wars and should put God first. Are you serious? That's so stupid. No, that doesn't make any sense. If you know, I don't want to go into talking about the ICOC, but that's stupid. That's the thing. Like, oh, someone asks, what if you're not scared of? Okay, I'm gonna answer that after. That's the thing. Is like in religion too. In most religion, everything is about putting God first. So if you do anything that's considered sinful, I know I do my air quotes a lot. Sinful, it's like you're not putting God first. You're supposed to be putting God first. Why aren't you putting God first? You gotta put God first. You gotta put God first. You gotta put God first. You start to go crazy after a while. It's like, let me live my life. Let me relax. And that was really why I left the ICOC. But I don't think every church is like that. You know, there are churches and there are Christians that are chill, that they'll let you live your life. I have some Christian friends, and they know me, and I don't try to pretend like I'm down with them and Christianity just so they can accept me. No, you need to accept me as I am, or you don't need to rock with me, period, because I'm fine by myself. You know, like, that's just how I feel about it. But they respect me, and I love them for that. And so I'm saying, like, not all Christians are like this, but a lot of them are. A lot of them. Somebody asked a question, I didn't. Okay, what if you're not scared of spirituality? Just you don't care for some parts of it. Example, tarot cards. Then don't do tarot cards. We don't need to make things complicated, you know. If you don't, because I actually had someone ask me that recently. If you don't like tarot cards, or I don't know if you're probably the person that actually I spoke to that actually mentioned this, or you might have been in my Facebook group. Someone mentioned this. But if you don't like tarot cards, then don't do it. When I first got in spirituality, I didn't like go and buy my first deck of tarot cards. I've always been intuitive in some way. I've always kind of had a knowing, or could feel things, or like I could feel emotions. I could feel people's energy. I've always been like that. So I always knew, and my mom used to always tell me, like, you have a gift or whatever. But she would say I was going to use it in the church, and that I'm supposed to use it in the church to speak over people. but I'm not in the church. So that's how I ended up actually getting into, I never really talk about it, but I'll just mention it now. So I got into tarot cards and oracle cards by kind of like wanting to sharpen my intuition, just because I've always been really intuitive, and that was how I got into it. But there are things I'm not into. Like, there are people who are into spirituality and they are into doing spells. I don't do spells. The only kind of spell that I believe that I do is manifesting. Manifesting in itself is a spell when it comes to, and a lot of people don't know this, but this is what made me think a little differently about the definition of spells. So, manifesting, when you're manifesting, if you're writing something, you're actually, if you're trying to speak something into existence, is what it's called. They consider that kind of like a spell, but you're not sitting there with freaking potion and all this crazy stuff, and you know what I'm saying. It's all about the way you look at things. But when you really research and learn what these things really mean, then you learn, like, oh, I've been doing that the whole time. I've always did that, so there's nothing wrong with it. But when it comes to tarot cards, like I said, if that's something that you are not comfortable with, don't push it away only because you're afraid of it, or an invisible spell. Don't push it away because you're afraid of it, or because you feel like it's horrible, it's evil. Just don't do it because you just don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Try to do research. It's all right to research. You don't have to do everything you research. I research a lot of stuff. Like, I've researched what is that weird religion, the witchcraft, how do I forget, the people who worship Satanism. And the only reason I research and watch like documentaries and stuff is because I like to learn about different things, because we all have different experiences, we all have different thoughts, we all have different things we like and we enjoy. So I just like to learn, but I am nowhere close to being interested in Satanism or worshiping Satan. I'm not into that, you know what I'm saying? So you choose whatever feels right for you. For me, tarot cards and oracle cards are fun. I actually have a reading I'm supposed to be doing today. I do readings for people now. So when you get into different things and you learn different things, you start to see, like, all right, I'm comfortable with that, but I'm not comfortable with that. As long as you go and you do what feels right for you, don't deny something or reject, I should say. Don't reject something off of fear because your religion taught you this. If you have fear, research, learn about it. What can I learn about tarot cards before I push it off as being something evil, something terrible? Try to learn about it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm reading your comments, guys. I don't want you guys thinking I'm ignoring you. Oh yeah, tarot cards. Yeah. No, my friend, she has so many decks. So many. Every time I go to her house, she always has a new deck. She's like, "Girl, let me show you this new deck I just bought." And I don't have a lot, only because I'm still learning to read tarot cards. Oracle cards is different than tarot cards. I like to collect mostly oracle cards, but the colors and the illustrations definitely will attract you. Yeah, so Theo. Yeah. Yeah, I've had people tell me that, that I do pretty well. Like, my favorite type of readings to do are soulmate and love readings. That's majority of people that speak to me that want a reading like the one I'm doing tonight is gonna be a love reading. Since a lot of people, I don't know, I think like I connect so much with it. Like, I love everything that has to do with love and being in love and sharing love and giving love and having love and everything love. I just love that stuff. So to me, that's my favorite thing. Wrong is a better word than sin. Yeah. More wrong than sinful is really to make people scared to do. Yeah, exactly. Like, you become so afraid. You become so afraid of everything when you come out of religion and you start to get into spirituality. You're so afraid to do anything because you feel like everything is a sin. I mean, come on, sage, really? Sage is a sin? How is that a sin? How is that gonna bring evil? You're literally lighting up a stick or like something, like a bunch of leaves. Well, mine is a stick because I got the Palo Santo. See, I got this. It doesn't do anything. It's just, I mean, not that it doesn't do anything. For me, it does something, but I mean, it doesn't do anything like, okay, now all the evil is gonna come in. No, it's just a cleanse. The same way the Christians have their rituals. We never talk about what they do. Like my mom, for instance, with the oil. What is that supposed to do? Olive oil. I cook with it. She uses it, she keeps it, and she uses it to put across everywhere for protection. All right, that's how you do it. And for me, protection, I got my crystals, I got my sage. That's just how it is, you know? You have to, when you really start to see everything has a flip side, you really start to see like, all right, Christians have their own thing too. It's just that we have been conditioned to believe that everything they do is, and I only speak about Christians because that's where I come from, that background. But most religions are like this. But, or all religions, I should say. But Christians, they have their thing that they do as well. Their things that they do, right? And we're not supposed to say anything about it because it's supposed to be holy. We've been conditioned to believe that everything that Christians do is holy and right and righteous. And if you're spiritual, you're wrong, you're a hippie, you're a sinner, you're leading people astray, you're leading people to hell. We've been conditioned to think this way. But when you really stop and think about all the different things, like I actually one day sat and started thinking about all the different things that Christians do. And I was just like, why is it right for them to do it? So I am not supposed to have any kind of, I mean, we all have intuition, but I'm not supposed to have any strong intuition. I'm not supposed to feel things. I'm not supposed to speak on it because I'm not in a church. But if I were in the church, I bet you I could easily tell somebody this, and that. And everybody's gonna be like, oh, praise the Lord, hallelujah. You know, like, why is that okay? But I'm here outside of a church, and if I do that, it's considered sinful, it's considered wrong. Another thing, Christians, they believe in the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, and all of that, right? I believe in angels. I do believe in spirit guides 100%. I definitely do. I believe in signs. I believe in meditation. I was shocked when I found out that meditation is actually considered a sin to a lot of Christians because they say that it has like a back, I don't know. I gotta read about it again, guys. But it's something have to do with the background of how some of you may know, like yoga mainly, I think it was, and the whole chakra thing, you know, like that's supposed to be sinful. It doesn't make sense. Visions, if you have visions, me, I have dreams. I have dreams. My mom, she has visions. It's considered okay if it's in the church, if it's within the bounds of Christianity. If you have these dreams and religions and you speak on it outside of it, you're psychic, you're evil, Satan is speaking to you. This is not a message from God. This is not from Jesus. And that's what I'm saying, like all of this stuff starts to make more sense when you leave Christianity because you start to see things different. The thing that I love about spirituality is that spirituality teaches you all the things that you was told didn't exist or isn't supposed to exist. So all the things that I didn't know about, I now know. I would never know the things that I know now if it wasn't for the fact that I had left religion, because the way I thought when I was in religion was very different from how I think now. It really does change you. D&D, what's that? What's D&D mean? I don't know what that is. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, that was a book or something, right? Or like a movie? It sounds familiar. Oh, paranormal movies or books to deal with. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch horror movies until I was like 13. And that was only because I begged, because that movie, The Sixth Sense, came out. And I begged my mom to let me see it. And finally she had let me go say, she took me to, I think, did she take me? Yeah, she took me to go see it. But there was a lot of things I also wasn't allowed to do, you know? So like, it's like all these things is considered sinful. I remember years ago when we was in the ICOC, me and my family, my daughter wanted this book. Um, she was into Monster High. It was like a show and like a cartoon or whatever. She used to have the Monster High toys and all of that. And she, wait, was it Monster High? She was into that. No, there was something else she was into, and it was like, it was a little witchcrafty, you know. So it was like spells and stuff like that. But it was a kids show. It was like a bunch of females, cartoon characters. It was cute, and she was into it, and she wanted a book. And it was a book in Barnes and Nobles in the kids section, and it was with the cartoon that she watches with all this witchy stuff. And my husband was like, "No, you can't get it because I don't like the fact that it has witchcraft." And I was just like, come on, it's a book. Like, let her live, you know. What's she gonna do? Sit there and make some secret potion? Like, it's a freaking book. But she didn't get it. She didn't get it. And that was because of the thinking at the time was like, it was sinful. I was a Christian at the time too. I was in the ICOC at that time, but I didn't fight on it only because I didn't want to like battle. I was just like, all right, well, daddy said no, so I guess it's no. But in my mind, I was just like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just a book. Because I never took it that serious. That is where the fear comes in, and that is a problem, is that you leave religion and you've got this fear built in you to where you think everything is wrong, and now it's like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't read this, I can't watch that, I can't say this, I can't say that, you know. So you have it really built in you, and when you have it built in you, that's kind of difficult. No, it wasn't Sabrina, not Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I used to watch that. The only thing that I definitely am never going to get into is a Ouija board. And when I do readings, I'm not a psychic medium. I will not try to uh, get in touch with your grandfather who died 2 years ago. Like, I don't do none of that, because I do believe that you can invite. I do believe in that. Christians believe in that, but that's a real thing. If you're not careful, which is why you need to protect yourself, that's what the sage does, that's what the crystals is about. Doing a little protection prayer before you do anything, that's what that's about. You have to be careful with your energy, be careful with the energy you have, be careful with the energy in your house, because yes, you can invite a lot of unwanted entities. And I do believe that there are people in the spirit world that are stuck here with us, you know. Like, when they die, some people don't realize it, or they die and they don't want to go yet because they have a life here, and they're still holding on to their attachments, and so they're still here floating with us, and at times they may try to get our attention. I do believe in that. Thankfully, I'm not a medium. I don't have connections with the spirit world like that, because I wouldn't even want to. Oh, Rack, you was a JW. That's rough. That's a serious cult, the Jehovah Witnesses. Yeah. Still not possessed years later. I hear you. Yeah, that's exactly what they believe. They believe that yoga is gonna, you're inviting it in. You're inviting evil in. If you're learning about different things that have to do with like spirituality and stuff like that, they believe you're inviting these things in, and that's the problem with the fear of spirituality. So that's pretty much my take on spirituality. I don't want to talk too much about it because I feel like I'm talking too much right now. Oh, the Museum of Annabelle. Yes, I want to go to that too. I want to go to that. Tell me you pray for me. That's so funny. Yeah, I want to go to that. Oh, I'm sorry. I almost dropped my thing. Um, I love scary movies. I really do. What do Christians think about plasmophobia video game? What is that? And devour games? I never heard of none of that. I don't know. But if it has to do with witchcraft or spells or anything like that, they probably don't like it. They probably think it's a sin. You know, they think a lot of things is a sin. Me making this video right now would be considered a sin. So, But that's the great thing is like I love about spiritual. And right now I'm not really, we're just talking at this point. So if you guys gotta go because the video's long, it's fine. But I'm just interacting with you guys. I'm done with my points. But I forgot what I was gonna say, sorry. See how fast that goes? Remind me, what was I gonna say? I believe it's closed down since a couple have died. Who died? Oh, really? Oh, no, the museum? No. Are you sure? Oh no. No, I thought that they were still open. I really want to go to that. Like I like haunted stuff. I went to a haunted, like a bunch of haunted houses because the area I live in, there's a lot of haunted areas in my borough. So I went and it was creepy as hell, but I love it, like a thrill. You know what I'm saying? I took pictures and stuff too. And then one picture I took, it looked like a face in the window. It did. It's like scary, but I love that stuff. That stuff is so interesting to me. A role playing. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys coming on this live. I'm gonna end it now because it's almost an hour. Okay, like I said when I first started the video, I just really didn't feel like editing anything. I finally got a new laptop so I could finally get back to my editing and back to all my good stuff all over again. Oh no, but where do they take her? I want to go. Survival horror game where they are ghosts. Oh, that sounds fun. Really? Wait, so is that like is it a video game or is it like an actual reality? Like you actually are ghost hunting. Oh, that sounds so fun. Oh wow, that sounds so fun. I love stuff like that. I really do. Like I'm so into stuff like that. Like, and before I go, the last thing actually, since we're talking about paranormal and ghosts and all that type of stuff. Ooh, I want to try that. Like I said, I do believe in spirits, so you know, just be careful because some of them are not good. But don't fear if you are getting into spirituality, like all of a sudden all the spirits of the spirit world is going to come and contact you because now you're elevating yourself and you're getting to a higher place of consciousness, and now you're in this place of sin where they're all going to come and be attracted to you, because that's not how it works at all. Because if that was the case, then you know, but I'm not going to lie, I do believe that when you do open yourself up, that's one thing I'm gonna tell you. If you are getting into spirituality, when you do start to open yourself up, just be aware that you may start to have stronger intuition. Tarot cards, oracle cards, things like that is I forget what they call it. It's a tool that you use to help sharpen your intuition. Having a sharper intuition is a good thing. It's not sinful. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good thing because it is good that you do listen to your intuition. Because if you listen to your intuition, hey to anyone who just joined, we're just talking right now. We're just like talking, really. If you do listen to your mostly spirituality and ghost stuff at this moment, if you listen to your intuition, right, you're gonna see so many things are gonna be different. When I was in religion, I did not listen to my intuition. I always said, nope, if it's not from God, then I'm not accepting it, I'm not taking it, because I feared going against God, thinking that if I listen to my own intuition, I'm going against God. When I left religion, I'm not saying my life has been perfect, but my life has definitely been, it had to kind of fall apart to build back up. And right now I'm still at the building back up stage. I'm building up a lot, right? But I started listening to my intuition when I left religion. And I have seen a huge change. It's very different. You experience something totally different when you follow your intuition and your intuition starts to sharpen. So if you are into like oracles or tarot cards, you may start to notice certain things like I believe 100% in synchronicities, signs, signs and stuff like that, and not just numbers, but even other signs. Like one day I was standing outside my terrace and a feather, like a white feather, came like past my face. And I know what a pigeon's feather looks like. It wasn't a pigeon feather. It wasn't. And I was just like, what is that? And then I just kind of like brushed it off because it disappeared. It passed my face and I looked and it was gone. And I was just like, maybe it's in my head. Then another feather came and it came near me and then it went. And then I was just like, all right. I took that as that may be an angel or a spirit guide, because if you do Google it, it does say on Google, a lot of people believe that if you see a white feather, that could be a sign that your spirit guide or your angel, whatever you want to call it, is near you. That could be a sign. So I do believe in that. A Star Wars tarot deck. You really love Star Wars. You know what? You should check on Amazon. Amazon might have that. Chantel, you believe in synchronicity? You're definitely not the only one. 100%, 100%. So I see a lot lately these past couple of weeks. 111 and 1111, a lot. But the numbers I see the most are always in twos. 12, 12, 22, 22, 21, 21, like that in twos. Or 222. I always see a lot of twos, but lately I have been seeing a lot of ones. There's 444, 555. People are afraid of 666, but that, if you Google it, that does have its own meaning, and it's not necessarily a horrible meaning. It's just like I said, when you're in religion, you hear all these things and you never research because you're afraid. You're afraid to do your research on what these things actually do mean. Religion will teach you one definition of what they say it means, but there is a whole nother meaning when you actually look it up. And this is really what got me to feeling, this is one of the things that really got me in my journey of being a part of a spirituality, what really got me to believing that religion is not everything that they say it is. It's not. It's not everything that they say it is. And I am not anti-religious. I'm not saying that religion is bad. I'm just saying it's not my cup of tea. And if it's not your cup of tea, then that is okay. We're not all religious, and we're not all spiritual, and we're not all atheists. We are human beings, and I believe that we're here to experience, to have a human experience, to have an experience of life, to have an experience in this world. And I don't understand a lot of times why people choose to get so hung up and caught up in like rules and regulations, to the point where if someone else isn't following what they follow, they feel bothered by it. They allow it to bother them. And you kind of just let your life pass on by when you don't allow yourself to experience this journey. And so I just personally really believe that we're all here for a journey. We're all here to experience something. And if we can experience things through not just our experiences alone, but through other people's experiences as well, that could actually be really helpful. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could be really good for you. Yeah, so you want to look up what synchronicity is. So synchronicity is actually what most people would refer to as coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that things do happen for some sort of a cause, or like there could be a lesson. Either it's happening for a reason, or there's just a lesson behind it. Not necessarily a reason, but there could be a lesson. And so when you become more intuitive and you become more in tune with yourself, you do start to see certain things you didn't see before. Like you may start to see certain synchronicity patterns, or like if you're really, you might be into laws of attraction. You know, a lot of people in spirituality they believe in laws of attraction. Laws of attraction isn't a religion or a belief system or anything. It just is. You know, that's what I always say. It just is. It's just the laws of life. Like laws of attraction, you attract what you put out. And it is true, because if you just look at the people out there that walk around negative all the time, they don't have the most positive, exciting life. They're always complaining. Those are the people that are attracting more of what they don't want. But then you look at other people who are putting out positivity. They may not have a perfect life, but they're positive, they're smiling, they're appreciative, they're grateful. I'm not saying you're always going to be happy and smiling all the time, but to have a positive mindset, a positive outlook, that is something that is going to be beneficial for you. You know what I'm saying? And so when you do get into spirituality, you may get into laws of attraction. And when you start to learn about laws of attraction, then you start to see a lot of things make sense. And this is why some people ask me, like, do you think you'll ever go back to Christianity? And I say, no, I won't. I mean, I will never say never, because you really don't know it. Like, honestly, I never thought I wasn't going to be a Christian, you know? But I personally definitely do not believe I will ever get back into Christianity, because I know too much right now. Like, I've seen and experienced too much at the moment. So it is what it is. Yes, it is what it is. That's just the laws of life. Whatever you put out, that's what you most likely you're gonna attract. I used to be very negative. When I was in Christianity, I used to be a negative person. I used to complain. I used to be depressed all the time. I used to be emotional all the time. I was never happy. That was just me. I was negative. But I kind of learned to always look at things negative before I look at it positive. Like, I've kind of always learned to see the bad, or because like growing up, I've always been very optimistic, but my mom is opposite, and she's always just kind of like, I would say something and be excited about something, and she'd probably be like, well, you know, you gotta be careful because this could happen instead. And she would do stuff like that all the time, and they'll put it in my head, and then I would start to kind of lose that confidence of positivity. So it really depends, you know. But now I see the difference. So now I can see how it's definitely made a whole change, a whole different shift in my life, where I see how I'm actually controlling and directing things. And I don't feel like if I was to go back to Christianity, I don't think I would be myself. I would be a Christian, which means I would be someone that they're telling me I need to be. But I don't feel that I would really truly be me, because, I mean, I feel like me right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like me right now. But yeah, that was it. That was pretty much just chit-chatting. So whoever is here on this live, I definitely appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys for coming. I appreciate you guys for sharing your thoughts. I appreciate you guys for supporting my channel. I do have my course, my Dope Soul course coming out. If you guys don't know, I have been posting about it, and I am working on it. It's definitely still in the works. So if you want to send me your email, well, not send me your email, I have a mailing list now, so you don't have to send me your email anymore, because I've got so many emails people have been sending me. I have a mailing list. You can just put it in there, and then automatically you'll get whatever emails I put out on updates on my new course. My new course is for 8 weeks. It's not a course where you're just sitting there all by yourself. I'm actually going to be working with you in like a virtual group setting through Zoom, and I'm also going to have some one-on-ones with you as well. So if you're someone who's dealing with coming out of religion or coming out of a cult, and you're having a really hard time getting to this place of peace, this place of happiness, which I totally understand how that is, it's 2021, guys, so we kind of need to get it together. Like, we have this one life to live, unless the Buddhists are correct and we have reincarnation. Other than that, live like this is your only life and enjoy it. Try not to stick with the past. Try not to always sit in that depression or in that state of always thinking about the past. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't make as many ICOC videos anymore. To be honest with you guys, I don't really enjoy making ICOC videos anymore, because of the fact that that is a part of my life, of a chapter that has passed, that I've grown from. And it's not that I can't still relate to it. I still enjoy helping people going through it. But I want to talk about what we can do to get better. And I want to talk about how things change after you leave a cult or after you've left religion. That's what I want to help you with. And people who are entering spirituality, I want to talk more about those experiences, because like I said before, believe that we can go off of our experiences as well as other people's. So make sure that you do check out the link. If you don't have me on IG, it's Tina Marie J _. No, matter of fact, I think I got it wrong. I never remember my IG. Or is it Tina Marie _J? Yeah, it is. Okay, that one. Tina Marie _J. That's my IG. So in there, go to my profile. I have the link in there. I also have the link under all of my videos. It's not under this one yet because this is a live right now. So I gotta like put it all in the description box. But in the description box of every video, I have links to everything. How to get in contact with me in my Facebook group and my link to my course. Okay. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys so freaking much. Thank you for coming. And I gotta go now. All right. See you guys later. Enjoy your day. Oh, your night. It's nighttime now.